begin with, programming has many different facets, we'll say. It can go in a lot of different areas. One place that we're going to use programming in, and I think this is going to happen more and more frequently in the future, is in the field of arts and music. We're really focused on that music part today. Why don't you go and Google ear, like your ear, and then the word sketch, like drawing. And we're going to go to this website for EarSketch from Georgia Tech. EarSketch is a programming language programming library, we'll say, that allows you to handle music with programs. So we're going to go to Get Started up here in the top right, and it'll load up. And once it does, you're going to have something like what my screen is, though I'm going to have a recent song up here, and I'm going to have this thing open. If you'd like, go ahead and follow along with me by clicking on that book icon to close out the curriculum. If you want to work on this more on your own, you can just go ahead and go through that curriculum, see how you do with it. Otherwise, just go and close that out so we have more space. Let's go ahead and create a new script by clicking on that button. I'd like us to be working in Python because next semester we will be doing all Python coding. So it's a nice thing to just start with what Python looks like. We'll name this first psalm. And I think I actually have a few first psalms. No, I don't. Okay, cool. And it will open up this little template file. These grayed out lines you don't actually have to worry about. We can erase them if we want. So then we have just these 4 lines here. All right, once you have that, you are ready to begin. For starters, we're going to make something called a list. A list is a programming structure that is like a variable, but it has multiple data inside of it, multiple values inside. So we start that off by going right here under set tempo, which if you are musically inclined, you know set tempo. Tempo is the speed that the song goes at, basically. I'm going to use a lot of any music theory nerds out there. I'm going to use a lot of terms that are very generalized for music theory because the main point of this project is to touch on some music theory, but mostly through programming. We're making a new variable called sounds. We're going to set it equal to a square bracket with 4 zeros inside. So square brackets with these 4 zeros. This is something called a list. It's a variable with multiple data inside. These zeros are just going to be placeholders because what we're going to do is we're going to change each of these zeros into a certain sound. So let's go ahead and make our first one. I'm going to first just find it. I would like to write an 8-bit funky song. Now 8-bit, meaning like the old video games, is going to be a genre. So I'm going to go to genre, go down to 8-bit. So it has just all the 8-bit sounds. Most pop songs today, they have about 3 parts to them. We have a drum in the background, kind of a beat going. Then we have some bass lines, which are almost like harmonies that kind of just play in the background. And then we have a lead. The lead is kind of the main part of the song. For us, our lead is maybe going to be a little weak, maybe going to be strong. Depends how you feel about it. It's going to be it's going to be interesting. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to get that drum, not drum pad, sorry. Let's grab loop. Go to loop, and then we're going to find one that we like. Now we can go through testing them. But I like this one. I've worked this out in advance. So that's going to play in our song. And you'll notice if we play it, I'm going to play it through this time. It's a short clip. I didn't pause it right there. That's as long as it is, really. So I'm going to load that first one in by going to sounds at 0. And when I say at, I'm using these square brackets to access the first one of these. We're going to put 4 different sounds at things here First one though is going to be sounds at 0 equals, and then I'm going to take this name right here. I'm just going to paste it right in here. So that way we load our first sound as the 8-bit analog drum loop 001. That's going to be our first little drum loop. Now, we then got to make sure to play it, because if I just run this program as it is, it's going to run, and it's going to do nothing at all. We can hear it play. Yeah, there's nothing there. So we have to actually use this fitMedia command, what's called a function. A function is a set of steps to accomplish a task. As you remember, we also call an algorithm that. An algorithm can be implemented as a function. So a function like fitMedia runs a few steps to play some music. We have to give it a sound. So we're going to give it sound at 0. That is one particular sound, right? This one right here is right in here. It's going to play it, and then it's going to repeat it. First, it's going to play it on track 1. We're going to start it at the beginning, 1, which is measure 1. Measure is basically a unit in music that is comprised of 4 beats. Now, it's usually 4 beats. There are other time signatures that can make different numbers there, but we're going to say it's just 4 for now. We're going to go from measure 1 all the way to the beginning of measure 16. Actually, we might make it 17 just to make it a bit more even. So that way it goes through the end of 16 and ends at the beginning of 17. And with that, we can hit run. And we have this repeated little segment. Let me just make sure this is getting caught by... Let me make sure this is getting caught by our thing here. Ooh, let me turn that down by a lot. Alright, so that's long. It's about 30 seconds. But it's good so far. We have the start of a song, but we want more in there. So I said the other thing we need is a bass line. So let's go ahead and do sounds at 1. This will load in the second one, and we're going to use a bass line. So we're going to go to instruments, then bass line. And turn off the loop. So we see just these bass lines. And we have a few to choose from. We have this one, and this one, that one. But I don't really like those, so we're going to use this one. Good. Paste it on in. And we should have 2 bass lines here, so I've used up 2 of my sounds. I'm going to grab a third one. So sounds at 2 equals. And I lied, I like this one actually, this bassline 02. I'm just going to use that one. Notice how I'm pasting those in by pressing that button. You could either write this name in there, copy it in there, or press that button and it will just put it right into your code console. Alright, so I've loaded them. Nothing will change about this until I actually play them though. So let's go ahead and play them. fitMedia with sounds at 1. I'm gonna put it on track 2 so that way it doesn't overwrite track 1. Each track can only play one sound at a time. So I'm gonna do it on track 2. I'm gonna start it right after the first one. Actually, you know what? For starters, we're just gonna put them at the same time. Run it. And you'll see that we have them going at the same time. Now, here's the thing. This works, but we'll listen to it a moment. I like it, but not all that much. I want to start this one just a little after the other one. So I'll put in a 2 there. So it starts at measure 2, which is right here. Run it. And now this part doesn't start until this one's already played for a little bit. So if we rewind. Yeah, pretty nice, right? So we have that. Let's go and get our other bass line in there, fitMedia, and I want this to play a bit after the other one, so I'm going to put it at measure 4 through 17. So it plays on track 3, so it won't be on the same track, and it will play at measure at measure 4 or here. So they don't all start at the same time. They're kind of staggered. They're delayed. Let's go and hear what that sounds like. All right, I like it. I do like it. Like it much more. Now, let's go ahead and hear what would happen if I had it on the same track. If I had these two on the same track, I said it would overwrite it, and I just want you to see what that looks like. So I'm going to change that 3 into a 2, run it again, and you'll notice it runs, it makes it, but it only has 2 sounds now. And right where our other one would start, we got both of them going at the same time, but we don't hear them at the same time. And it even tells us that it's removing the overlapping segments. So we do need these to be on different tracks. That's just that way you can see how that goes, so that they can play together at the same time. A track can only play one sound at a time. All right, now at this point, we do have a working song. Sort of. Let's get a bit more in there. We're going to get one more sound to play for the first part. So I'm going to do sounds at 3. Equals. And for this one, we're going to use a lead. So let's change our instruments, get rid of bassline, and just put on lead. And let's look through what leads we have. We have 10. Well, actually, I was going to use this one. But actually, I like that more. We're going to use 10. So I'll paste that in there. So that way our 4th sound is now loaded. I'm going to do fit media. Sounds at 3. Going to track 4. And I want to start this kind of midway through it. So around measure 8 and at 17. So I want to start around here-ish. I'm going to run that. And at this point, I have 4 tracks going. So let's hear that. And I hate it. Why do I hate it? Because I want to move just a little bit ahead. So here's where I want to make a good point about programming. Programming and arts in general is you have to do a lot of testing. You got to see what it looks like and then change it as needed. Revisement is where true genius comes out. So I'm going to go in here. I want to delay just a little bit after it, but I don't want it to go to measure 9. I want this lead part at the bottom to start kind of in between 8 and 9. Between 8 and 9 is 0.5, so 8.5. I'm going to run that again, and let's see if it comes out better this time. And it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Now, I think it actually was better at 8. I just wanted to make a point about, well, 1, that you can use decimals in here, and then 2, just a point about testing your work. A lot of program code comes to me from my students where it doesn't run well. Like it'll work, but barely, or it's just really badly managed. And I just want to make the point that you should test your work and revise it as you need to. All right, at this point, we do have pretty much a working soundscape. Let's go ahead and add in just one more sound. Just do a comma here. Since we're running out of space, we can't really just get a fifth one in. I'm going to add in a fifth zero to sounds. And let's get a fifth sound to play. We're going to do sounds at 4 equals. And I'm going to use that lead 2 from before. Yeah, perfect. Put it right in. We'll scroll down. And I'm going to copy these 4. Put them down here. And I'm going to space these out. This is going to be section 1 of our psalm. This will be section 2. I'm not going to have drums playing through section 2 because I don't like just constant drums throughout the whole thing. I'm going to start, I will play the bass lines. I'll play one of the bass lines, not both of them. I think I'm going to just keep this one. So I'm just going to have the bass line and our other lead playing. I'm going to start them both at the end of section 1, so they have to start at 17. And I'll have them go to 33. So that way we have two 16 measure sections. They can be on any track, doesn't really matter. But I'm just going to play sounds 1 and 3 for the rest of the psalm. So when I run this, I now have this second section made up. Okay, I can't listen to that very long. We need some things changed in here, so I'm going to go here. I want on measure 21, I want something new to play. So let's see if we have anything here. I think we want to get something new. So let's go ahead and add in another 0 for another placeholder. Sounds at 5 equals, and let's use a new baseline. So I'm going to go and clear out lead. Grab baseline, and I like this one, I think. Actually, I like this one more. Okay, so I'm going to put in baseline 4, and then back down here, I'm going to do fit media. Sounds at 5. Track 3, and we're going to start at measure 21 and go to the end with this new baseline playing. So that way, we don't just do this the whole time, but instead we start into this. Alright, that's terrible. This is where we will use our 0.5. So I'm just testing this because I actually, this is different than the song I wrote earlier. So we'll see how this goes. I want to go ahead and push this ahead so that way they miss a line just a little bit. So they don't play at the exact same time, you know, tracks 1 and 3. Because listen. See how those sound waves line up? So let's go ahead and push it forward a little bit. I'm going to do 0.25. Push it ahead a little bit so it starts a little after. Better, but I'm going to push it just a little bit more. Alright, this is where experimentation comes in, just testing it. You know what? I think this sound just isn't going to work for us. So let's scroll up to where we have our sounds, and let's change it to a different bass line, something a little calmer. No, that's not calmer. Nah. Let's maybe do something different than a bass line. Let's go out, branch out a little bit. you want synth? Let's try a synth. Ooh, I like that a lot. Syntho 3. All right, so all I do is change that. It'll still place it in the same place. And now we just get to hear it. So let's not have that play the entire time. Let's go ahead and kill it around measure 27. And switch over to a different synth, or a different sound. What do we have here? I think it'd be good to come back to our drum loop right around there. So I'm going to do fit media. This will be the last thing we change about this. Fit media sounds at 0 on track. Well, we could put it right in track 3 actually, because we're going to start it at 27 where this one ended. So they can be on the same track. And we'll end it at 33. Let's run that. So that now you see right here at 27, they change over. There's no overlap because this one ends at 27, this one starts at 27. So we can go ahead and play it again, and we'll play it out, and that'll go to the end of this tutorial.